You're watching women's college basketball as part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. And welcome into Los Angeles, home of Pauley Pavilion. And there is a buzz inside the arena tonight. A top 5 matchup between two undefeated teams, #1 ranked UConn and 5th ranked UCLA. Hi, everyone. I'm Elise Woodward. I'm joined by Hall of Fame coach Gail Gestencourse. What a buzz inside this arena. This is a rematch of last year's Sweet 16 matchup. UConn won by 15. What do you expect tonight here in LA? That one was in Connecticut.
Well, I'll tell you what, we might be on a basketball court, but it's going to feel like a track meet. Both of these teams love to push in transition and attack the basket, so buckle up.
Nafisa Collier last year in that Sweet 16 matchup was outstanding. 27 points, 14 boards. She really hasn't clicked in yet this season, though, averaging just 11 points a game.
Well, she hasn't, and Gino talked about the fact she's lost her confidence. We heard him say today, I don't care if you shoot 25 times and go 0 for 25, shoot the ball.
Jordan Canada, well, she's playing really well. The senior point guard in the upset of 3rd-ranked Baylor had 20 points and 13 assists. They really need her to control things tonight.
Well, they do, and Jordan right now is playing like the top point guard in the country, averaging 17 points, 8 assists, and shooting 64% from the 3. She's going to need all that and more to pull off the upset.
There is a lot of WNBA teams and personnel here in attendance. It is star-studded. This is some of the top talent in college women's basketball right now. It'll be on the floor. We saw Mike Thibault, the head coach of Washington, and he said earlier that, yeah, this team, or this game tonight, at least 4 first-round draft picks in the WNBA coming up. So everybody that's looking at talent, they are here.
Kobe Bryant, we see in the house. He's a smart man coming to see the best basketball in the country.
So the question with that is, what kind of nerves and adrenaline are going through the UCLA Bruins? It feels like UConn doesn't get intimidated by an environment like this, but what about the hometown Bruins?
Well, UConn is very much used to this type of environment. It's something new for UCLA. They played UConn before last year. They played them a couple of years ago as well. So there will be some confidence, but this crowd, they're not used to this type of crowd.
Right away, the miss and pull down on the board by Monique Billings, the senior.
And this is going to be such a fun game to watch because both teams love to push the tempo.
Right away, it's Gabby Williams on Monique Billings, poking it away, and then off to the races, and she finishes with her left.
And Gabby Williams is one of the best finishers in and around the basket. She goes so hard to the basket, finishes just as well with her right and left hand.
And then nearly another steal from Williams. She pokes that one away, but UCLA recovers. Down low, Kennedy Burke with the reverse.
And that's a good sign for UCLA. You know what you're going to get out of Jordan Canada, Monique Billings. They need some other players to step up in this game.
Here's Williams now on top. Before cut and out of bounds.
Yeah, both teams right now are starting in man-to-man. We're going to see a lot of different defenses out of UCLA, and there goes Williams to the basket. Again, just one of the best finishers in the game of basketball. So much fun to watch.
And so athletic. What a matchup between Williams and Monique Billings. Billings gets it down low, but rejected by Azurá Stevens. There's Kennedy Burke to poke it away, slowing down the UConn break.
And we're going to see a lot of ball screens from both teams.
Crystal Dangerfield saying, my bad. The 5'5" sophomore point guard, career high 24 points in that win versus Stanford. Gino Auriemma, of course, 33rd year at UConn, 11 national championships. And playing here, the home court of John Wooden, who won 10 national championships right here in historic Pauley Pavilion. Here's Billings down low, tries to get the shot off, but UConn's defense getting a piece of it. And Jordan Canada, quick hands, knocking that one off of the Huskies. There's Corey Close, her 7th season as UCLA head coach. Back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances, and picked to finish first in the Pac-12 conference this season.
Yeah, and this should be the season for them really to break through, win the Pac-12, potentially go to the Final Four. They've got that great senior leadership with Canada and Billings.
Oh, and rejected by Kennedy Burke. Gabby Williams wanted a call, didn't get it. Canada outside, and that is Kelly Hayes knocking it down, the 6-foot senior from San Jose.
And that was all set up by Jordan Canada.
UCLA falls asleep. You do not want to see Nafisa Collier get going, and that was an easy one.
And Jordan Canada right now, 3 games. She's got 24 assists, only 4 turnovers on the season. Crystal Dangerfield, 13 assists, only 3 turnovers. So we're seeing 2 of the top point guards in the country right now.
And I think if UCLA was going to show some nerves, we would have seen it already. They've come out and played well. That shot off by Burke, and the rebound controlled by Williams. There's Dangerfield taking it inside, can't finish with her left. But tracked down by Kia Nurse. She gets the defender in the air, Monique Billings, and draws contact for 2 shots.
And UCLA, excellent block. I mean, you've got to love that. It's always nice when you've got your help side sitting there waiting to help you out.
Nurse knocks down the first one.
And then you see on the other end, that's all the result of that block. Blocks, steals, tips. Both teams rely on their defense to help create their transition in their offense.
And Gail, there's not very many teams that are athletically near what UConn is. I think UCLA has some really good athletes that can run and jump with UConn.
Well, we talked to Gino today, and he was kind of excited. He said, you know, it feels kind of good to know if you don't play your best basketball, you're going to lose. He said that doesn't happen often for us, but today it could happen. We've got to come ready to play.
And another rebound pulled down by Gabby Williams, and then the feed down low to Collier, who puts that in. 2 really easy buckets for Nafisa.
And that's just what Nafisa needed, some easy buckets inside. She's been shooting the 3 a little bit more. I think it's good. Get their bigs started in and around the block.
Remember, Nafisa Collier last year in the Sweet 16 matchup, the Bruins had no answer for her. 27-14. There's Canada splitting the D. Oh, that was beautiful.
That's a highlight. That's the Sports Center highlight right there.
That was gorgeous, splitting the defense and then finishing with her left.
And that's what all these WNBA coaches, we saw 5 of them at least here, want to see. Great point guards finishing at the rim.
Oh, the turnaround jumper, how smooth was that by Collier? Oh, Canada with some nifty ball handling. Down low to Billings, and she finishes. This is what we expected, the pace, the athleticism. This has been a fun start. There's Nurse behind the screen, can't get it to go. Williams there, and she can't get it either. Off the front rim and down, and Canada is out on the push. And she will pull up for 3, a new part of her game. That one well off, though. It looks like it'll be Connecticut ball, and we come to a timeout. Some good back and forth action here in Pauley Pavilion. UConn with the early 1-point lead. The top 5 matchup here in LA. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter. And by Angry Orchard Hard Cider, naturally refreshing. Welcome back into Pauley Pavilion. The longest active home win streaks. Well, it's the 2 teams on the court tonight. UConn 67 on their home floor, but 32 here by the UCLA Bruins. And they're playing like it. They have knocked off some top teams, including 3rd-ranked Baylor on Saturday night. That was just a few days ago, Gail. They really played well.
They did, and they just exude confidence right now. And Coach Close said when they got into the locker room after the game, the best thing was it was just like any other game. She said there was no excitement. They expected to win, and that's the change in mentality you have to have to win these big games.
Collier no good, but Stevens there to clean it up, and now a 9-3 advantage on the boards for UConn. That is the area that was the difference in that Sweet 16 game.
And that's what Corey Coast talked about as well. They have got to keep UConn off the offensive glass. There was a segment, 6.5 minutes, where they did not get a rebound in that Sweet 16 game, and that was the difference in the ball game in her mind.
With the strip, 3-on-1, she fakes it, and the quick hands on the other end by Dangerfield to poke that one away.
And Georgia Canada, all Pac-12 defensive team. We asked her today, what does she like better, defense or offense? And she says, I love them both.
Chantel Horvath on the outside, or excuse me, on the out-of-bounds play, and UCLA pulls her within one.
And Horvath, I really like this kid. Just a freshman from Australia. She's just got a toughness about her.
She will definitely have to be that three-point threat that they lost last year in Carrie Corver, who has graduated, one of the best three-point shooters in the history of the Bruins program. The double team comes, leaves Stevens open from three, no good. Canada there for the board.
And that's where Azurá Stevens, I still would like her to get started more on the inside. Not shooting well from the three-point line, just 18% on the season. And she's taken twice as many threes as free throws. And if I'm a big kid, get down, get to the free throw line.
That's a great number, Gail. The three ball from Hayes off the back rim, and Gabby Williams with her 6th board early in here in Pauley Pavilion. She has it on the corner. And there's Dangerfield, and she knocks that one in from deep.
And that's where Crystal Dangerfield has really improved her game from last season. She's just playing with so much confidence. I said, what's the difference between last year and this year? She said, experience and confidence. And I said, how did you gain that confidence? She said, I got in the weight room and I worked on my game. She said she's gained 10 pounds worth of strength, muscle, and you can see it in her body.
Absolutely, just 5'5", but certainly putting on some muscle in the offseason and hitting the three ball. She had 6 of them in the opening game of the season against Stanford and was the player of the game. Ball moving over to Stevens.
And they're daring Stevens to take that shot right now. They'd rather have her on the outside and then on the inside. But Stevens at 6'6", you just saw she's got such great vision. She's a good passer out there as well. Tough to defend.
Got it down to Collier, and good matchup defensively. Kennedy Burke, 6'1" and athletic, but couldn't handle the lob over the top. UConn with their largest lead of the game now, 17-11. It's a 9-2 Huskies run. Here's Canada with the step back. Turned well off though, and Gabby Williams, another board. Nurse over to Collier. And Collier already right near her season average of 11. UConn off and rolling. She's got 9 points and a pretty pull-up jumper here. UConn with an 8-point advantage here on UCLA's home floor. These two teams met in the Sweet 16 a year ago. UConn got their 110th win in a row. It was a 15-point margin, but that game in Connecticut, UCLA here on their home floor has won 32 games in a row. And they've got some work to do now as UConn has gone on a run.
And I thought that was a really good timeout by Corey Coast, because UConn can beat you by 20 in the blink of an eye. So when you start to feel that run, you've got to stop the bleeding early.
Collier poking that one away defensively. Dangerfield trying to go off glass, no good. And that's LaJeanne Drummer into the game for Corey Close, the redshirt junior. Canada too deep, poked away by Kia Nurse, and she is off and running. Easiest two of the game. And UConn's lead stretches to double digits.
And that's what happens when you turn the ball over. It's 2 points.
Gabby Williams, a little too much body from behind on Billings. The one thing that jumps out to me about Williams is her intensity. She was the National Defensive Player of the Year, and you can just see it in her eyes. She wants this matchup with Monique Billings.
Yeah, she takes great pride in her defense. Such a smart player. And I think she's one of the quickest to go from defense to offense, whether she gets the outlet or gets the rebound. She turns and goes.
The foul on Lajeanne Drummer, trying to fight for the offensive board. Instead, it'll be UConn basketball with a 10-point lead. Both of these teams are undefeated. UCLA already with a top 5 victory. The Baylor Bears were in town on Saturday, and Jordan Canada was phenomenal. 20 points and 13 boards. There's the ball fake, kicks it over to Williams. That's short, but she gets her own rebound at the buzzer. And that will do it for the first quarter. UConn coming on the road against the top 5 UCLA Bruins and getting it done so far. Collier, she's got 10 points already, 5 of 6 from the field, and she has been dominant. The UConn Huskies off and rolling. These top matchups early in the season, so much fun. The PK 80 to celebrate Phil Knight, from one basketball Hall of Famer, Phil Knight, getting celebrated. A Hall of Famer to my right, Gail Guesting course. This is fun. Who says Turkey Day is about football?
I'd love to see that Duke-Texas matchup. If it comes to be, that'd be a great game.
Well, as the former coach of Duke and Texas, I know why you're saying that one. Who would you be pulling for?
Both of them. I want everybody to win.
Well, right now, UCLA jumping out on top by 10. They ended the quarter 5 of 8. They made their last 5 of 8 buckets. UCLA 1 of 6. And there's where we stand, a 10-point advantage for the Huskies.
UConn came out. They showed zone, but went man. And then they like to switch on screens, which makes it very difficult to run your offense.
There's Horvat with the runner. What a shot for the freshman out of Australia. They could really use the scoring from somebody other than Canada and Billings. Here's Collier down low. That one just off Lajeanne Drummer with the rebound. Canada getting the body of Gabby Williams.
And Horvat, she is going to have such a bright career here. She just has a nose for the ball. She's a great three-point shooter, but she can, as you can see, she can also put it on the deck.
It is Gabby Williams' second foul, and she is so aggressive and so good defensively. Gino leaving her on the floor. I wonder if that's going to take a little bit of her aggressiveness away.
Yeah, well, and you can see he's getting ready to sub in for her because she is so aggressive. She's a smart player, but he doesn't want to take a chance.
Canada probing the defense, kicks it over to Burke. Her shot short, and UConn rebounds and runs. There's Dangerfield with a spin, can't get it to go. But another rebound for UConn. Nurse, too strong, and that one over the backboard. And I think UCLA is probably breathing a sigh of relief. Just total domination on the glass so far in this game by UConn. Now 16 boards for UConn, just 6 for the Bruins.
Yeah, if you're going to compete with UConn, you cannot give them second chances, second opportunities. They make enough of the first opportunities, they don't need a second one.
That's so true.
UConn really doing a nice job spreading the floor out, forcing you to go one-on-one. That's the great thing about this team. Their players are so versatile. They can play inside, they can play outside, and it really puts the pressure on your defense.
The foul on Drummer. She will take a seat on the bench. And Billings back on the floor for the Bruins. And freshman Michaela Onyenwere is on the floor as well, wearing the face mask. Suffered a broken nose 4 days ago. Nurse kicks it inside to Stevens, surrounded though, and They say 3 seconds in the key. It'll be a UConn turnover.
Yeah, that was an excellent defensive stand by UCLA.
Stevens, that transfer from Duke, sat out last season and just practiced with the team. She is 6'6", had 18 points and 12 boards in the absence of game number 1 without Katie Lou Samuelson. And gosh, what a shame that Katie Lou Samuelson, one of the best players in the nation, first team All-American, and a Southern California native, not able to play in this game. She has a mid-foot sprain. This is the second game. She was unable to go, really wanted to play here with her family all here in attendance. Besides Carly Samuelson, her sister, who's playing pro ball over in Italy, the former member of the Stanford Cardinal. But you just feel for Katie Lou Samuelson not being able to go in this one.
Yeah, she said when she had to make the call to her mom to let her know she wasn't going to be able to play, she said it was rough. She said, I did not handle it well. She said, but, you know, I want to be here for my team and trying to see the positive. She said, but of all games for me to have to miss out, this was the toughest one.
She never got to play in Southern California throughout her 3 years, and I don't know if it's on the schedule next year as a senior, but maybe Gino Auriemma and the coaching staff can work some magic to get her to play a hometown game.
I'm sure UCLA would be happy to have him come back instead of going to Stores. Ed getting a little bit too aggressive here. Kia Nurse picking up the foul. And usually UConn's, they're very disciplined and don't get in foul trouble. Gino's famous for playing 6 or 7 players.
So UConn with a 6-point advantage. UCLA, a couple of back-to-back scores after falling down by double digits.
Kickball violation. Shot clock resets to 15.
So a kickball, 13 seconds on the shot clock, resetting just to 15. Gino Auriemma talking with him before the game. Excited for this challenge against UCLA, the 5th-ranked team in America, and without Katie Lou Samuelson, he said, my team is just not as talented. I'll be curious to see how they react here on the road.
Well, he said Katie Lou is the smartest and most versatile player that I have.
Ball lost out of bounds, awarded to the Huskies.
And Katie Lou Samuelson, this is what happened. I can't watch it again. It just makes your stomach turn seeing a great player like that go down. And she said it is not the same injury that kept her out of the NCAA tournament 2 seasons ago. And they expect her to be able to be back in about 2 weeks. She hopes sooner. And Nafisa Collier knocking down the 3 ball. She came into this game just 3 of 9 from the 3-point line. Decent percentage at 33%. Just, we're used to her just going to town from deep. She hit 6 threes against UCLA in the Sweet 16 a year ago.
Yeah, and just good with her field goal percentage in general. She was 3rd in the nation last year. And that was 67% overall, and she's just been shooting 46% this season.
Jordan Canada sees the shot clock, tries to get that one off, but instead no rim. And it'll be a shot clock violation. Katie Lou cheering on her teammates from right here, Huntington Beach, California, the modern-day graduate. She said her dad left today because of the LA traffic. 3:30 to make sure he made it in time for the 7:30 tip on the West Coast. And we appreciate you all on the East Coast hanging in. We know it's a late night, 10:30 tip-off here from Pauley Pavilion. But you don't want to miss this one. This is one we could see in the Final Four in Columbus later this year. It is UConn out on top by 9 here in Pauley Pavilion against UCLA. You are watching the Pac-12 on ESPN. The UCLA Bruins hosting the #1 ranked team in America. And what a great crowd here in Pauley Pavilion this evening to come out and watch. Such a buzz in the arena. We mentioned earlier Gail Gaston-Course along with Elise Woodward. A lot of WNBA personnel here to look at all the talent. Jordan Canada, one of the best point guards in America.
Yeah, they talked about at least 4 of these players, and I think we know who they are. Will be drafted highly in the WNBA draft. 2 from each squad, and a lot of the youngsters. So both programs filling up the rosters of the WNBA.
You spent time coaching in the WNBA as well as the college rank scale, and I mean, you look out, it's fun to see and scout strength on strength and to see who rises to the challenge.
Well, and that's why we've got so many scouts here tonight. Both these teams run a lot of pro sets, a lot of ball screens. They've got great point guards. You want to see who's going to rise to the occasion.
This is Collier. She has been red hot. 6 of 8 from the field for 13 points. An offensive foul called, and Kelly Hayes and the Bruins coming away clapping their hands as Nazare Stevens picks up her first personal.
Well, and that's what UCLA needs to do. They've got to get their offense started with their defense. They're stagnant right now in the quarter court. So they've got to get some turnovers, get some steals, really do a better job on the boards, and get some things going offensively.
18-7 at UConn advantage on the glass. Monique Billings with the pretty turnaround jumper for 2. UCLA, despite the rebounding deficit, just down by 5. Sub in for Gino. That's Megan Walker, the 6'1" freshman out of Virginia, knocking down the 3 ball.
And Naismith, Megan was the Naismith High School Player of the Year last year, and really starting to find her way. Had 12 points, 7 boards against Maryland. She struggled early, but you can see her confidence level grows with each game.
Gino likes to play a short bench, and when he finds a crew that works, he sticks with it. So for Megan Walker to earn minutes as a freshman, must be doing some really good things in practice. Here's Nurse. Pulls it out. Collier, nice pass outside to Walker again, who just knocked down a 3 and make it back-to-back from long range for the freshman. She is already at her season average, 6 points per game coming into here for Megan Walker. That's another freshman right there for 3. It's raining 3s from the freshman. That's Michaela Onyenware making it happen for the Bruins from deep.
And Michaela was the 10th ranked ESPNW Hoop Girls player. So we've got a lot of old talent here, and we've got a lot of young talent as well.
There's Nurse pulling it from 3. That one rims out. Collier trying to track it down. Nice play. Tipping it over to her teammate Dangerfield, and it was worth 3. What a hustle play, and Megan Walker with her 3rd 3 in a row, and Gino Oriema had a huge smile on his face as Connecticut got back on D.
And you don't see that often, so not in the middle of a game.
Just when UCLA seemed like they were gaining some traction, it's been 3 threes in a row from Walker. Too strong on the baseline jumper from the freshman Horvath. But tipped off of a Husky, and it's going to be UCLA ball.
Yeah, and Gino has said, he said, I don't think our defense is very good right now overall, but I tell you what, watching this game, they are very locked in right now, very locked in.
Do you believe that?
They're not as good as they could be. They've got good individual players, but UConn is always known for their team defense, and right now their team defense is a work in progress. And I think he's really hard.
Oh, what a pass by Canada. Flips it over through the key. Can't finish the first one, but Billings there to clean it up and draw the foul.
But that's where they're good. Canada sees the floor so well. When she breaks down the defense, she can score, or as you see here, find her open teammate. That's when UCLA is at their best.
She saw Lajane Drummer a little behind the post player, and lucky kick over to Billings, who hits the first free throw. What a jump from Monique Billings at the free throw line. Man, great to see her improve, man. When she was a freshman, she shot 47% from the free throw line. Went up to 67, 64 last year, and now 77% as a senior.
And that's when you know, coaches are doing a great job really helping their players to improve. It's one thing to sign great players, but you got to develop great players as well.
Lots of basketball this week. How about the Maui Invitational? That's a good place to go over the holidays. Wichita State, the 6th-ranked team in America, already getting a win, and will face the winner of Notre Dame LSU. In her first start, and now here in her second start, 4 points, 3 assists, and playing pretty good basketball.
And Gino's been hard on her. He has which is a good thing. He's got very high expectations of her.
There's Kennedy Burke drawing the contact, and we'll get the continuation.
Great take by Kennedy Burke. And that's where UCLA is one of the most athletic teams in the country. So they've got to attack the rim.
That's Stevens' second foul. So Gabby Williams with 2 fouls, and now Azurá Stevens with 2 fouls. Kelly Hayes onto the floor for the Bruins, replacing Horvath.
And you can see UCLA changing up their defense a little bit. 1-3-1, half court.
Less than a minute to go until halftime. UConn with an 8-point advantage. Have not been able to pull away from UCLA despite the rebounding advantage. There's Dangerfield knocking down the 3 ball.
Dangerfield is dangerous when she's left open.
No question. Now 6 threes made for UConn here in the first half of action. UCLA on the other end, just 3 of 12.
UCLA likes to run a high ball screen at the end of quarters. Let Jordan Canada make the right decision with the basketball.
Over to Hayes, she can't knock it down. 3-on-2 break. Dangerfield pulling up, but that one off the mark, and UConn will head into the locker room with an 11-point advantage. UCLA hanging around, but they've got work to do. Nafisa Collier, man, was she good in the first half. 13 points, 6 of 8 from the floor.
And Nafisa, she listened to Coach Ariyama. He said, I want you to shoot 25 times. I don't care if you miss them all. She's not missing, but she's looking to shoot, which is exactly what he needs.
She keeps the ball so high, and at 6'1", really hard to affect her shot.
It is. She's so smooth, and look at those numbers. Doing a little bit of everything, but looking to score, and that's what Gino needs and expects from her. So she's turned around, she listened, and she's playing great basketball.
She had 27 points and 14 rebounds in the Sweet 16 matchup. She is playing well here today. Really nice crowd here in Pauley Pavilion, trying to see the UCLA Bruins pick off their second top 5 team in the week. They'll need a second half comeback to get it done, though. You're watching women's college basketball as part of Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. What a shot of the campus here in Westwood. 85 degrees today. All of you in the rest of the nation watching, besides probably Hawaii and Florida this time of year, jealous at just how gorgeous it was here in LA. And inside, some hot shooting from UConn, especially from Megan Walker, coming off the bench. 3 straight threes from the freshman. What a boost for Gino Auriemma and the Huskies.
She has been, and And you've seen it. We talked about it game by game. She continues to feel more comfortable, more confident. Her teammates are finding her, spotting up. And that's the thing about this Connecticut team. Even without Katie Lou, they've got players that can step up, hit the three. And as always, Connecticut's known to make the extra pass, hit the open player, who tends to hit the open shot.
UConn is so good because they've got players on their bench that are All-Americans in high school. Azurée Stevens was not starting as a transfer until the injury to Katie Lou Samuelson. She's only 6'6" and was an ACC all-conference pick as a sophomore at Duke. She is now in the lineup. Collier coming out with the first shot of the second half, and UCLA forcing the miss, and they're off to the races. There's Jordan Canada aggressively taking it to the hole, and Monique Billings there to clean it up.
And that's okay. And there's Jordan Canada making a defensive play right there. Even if Jordan Canada misses, when she attacks in transition, draws help, the defense has to help over, which is going to open it up for offensive rebounds for her teammates. But she's got to take better care of the ball.
Nice burst of energy from Jordan Canada and UCLA here in the first 40 seconds of the second half. A made bucket on the O board where they just got crushed in the first half. And then Canada couldn't get the pass to go where she wanted the turnover, but hustling on the other end to force the UConn turnover.
And Jordan Canada usually plays big in big games. And Corey Close said this is a transition that she's made, that this year she's been consistent in every game.
She got recruited for a while from the University of Connecticut, but an LA native wanted to stay here at UCLA and build a legacy. Azurée Stevens rejecting Monique Billings' attempt at the shot, and they'll head the other way.
And there's a mismatch down low. Collier had a big mismatch. Yeah, they couldn't find her, but they still score inside.
Tia Nurse with a nice feed inside to the cutting 6'6" Stevens for an easy bucket.
You can see trying to post up Canada. She's getting a little frustrated, but she's got to stick with it.
Comes out for the three ball attempt, and that one is down, and that is a big boost for Canada. She did not hit a three in the first half. She was 0 for 2. And her improvement behind the line has been something to behold. 13% as a freshman. She hit 3 all year, to 26, to 35, and this year she's shooting 63 from long range.
And Azurée Stevens, it's a great move on anybody, but 6'6" and long-limbed Azurée Stevens.
It's not often that Monique Billings at 6'4" and within a vertical, she can dunk it. She dunks it in practice. And she gets up to the top of her jump and then is rejected. Eight on the shot clock. That ball poked away. UConn's defense smothering.
Yeah, and UCLA, they're standing too much, holding the ball now. Makes it easy for UConn's defense to get set.
Oh, what a move by Gabby Williams, known for her great defense, but that was a great move off glass.
And we talked to some of the pro coaches, the WNBA coaches, and they said Gabby Williams is the best player on the floor. But they don't know if she'll be the best pro, but she's the best player on the floor.
What a feed through traffic. Kelly Hayes down to Kennedy Berg. That's her second good-looking reverse lay-in inside tonight. Tia Nurse with a hard take, and she'll draw contact.
And that's the beauty of most of the UConn players, really, they go north-south. And we see a lot of that from the UCLA players as well. And that's the difference between great players and just good players try to get to the basket. Great players go north-south directly to the basket.
Nurse drawing the foul on Kennedy Burke. That's her second foul. Corey Close going to her bench, but Kelly Hayes will be the one to take a seat. And the freshman Horvath will be on the floor now for the Bruins.
bracket. Now they've gone into a little 2-3 zone.
This is Burke for three off the back rim, and Stevens rises up for the rebound.
Yeah, and overall, really, the three ball has not been there tonight for UCLA.
You really can't get a solid grip on it, and it's UCLA with some numbers. And the defense from UConn, even in transition, that's a bucket against almost every team in America for Jordan Canada. In transition with numbers, but they get back defensively and they force a tough shot, just can't get it to go.
Yeah, and Canada had Horvat, who's a great three-point shooter in the corner. So on that one, she really did need to kick it out to her teammate. You've got to continue to attack, but trust your teammates as well.
And they're trying to turn the corner. She's denied. That one out to Billings. She's worked on that pull-up jumper in her game, but can't get that one to go. Gino Auriemma barking out the offense, what he wants to see. 15 on the shot clock. Stevens leaves it short and then crashes in to Jordan Canada.
She may have taken a little shot to the face.
Jordan Canada played for a long time with a mask from a broken nose. I think anytime you break your nose, you're going to go back searching when you get a hit like that. Is it still there? Is it still intact? All right, I'm good to go. That's the third foul on Azurá Stevens, so she will take a seat on the bench for UConn. And Megan Walker, who had the three first-half threes, will now be on the floor. A nice take by the freshman, Chantel Horvat, off glass.
And good ball movement by UCLA. Going around the horn, getting it into the high post, reversing the ball, and attacking the basket.
Oh, good defense there by Kennedy Burke, just remaining vertical and forcing a tough shot. You can't control it, though. One of those hustle plays that you do everything right except for get possession. So UCLA holding close, down by just 8 points here on their home floor, coming out with some energy here in the second half. You are watching the Pac-12 on ESPN, and UConn has already seen two Pac-12 teams this season and taken care of both of them, Cal and Stanford, both top 25 teams, and here they face number 5 UCLA, and they have an 8-point advantage. This is how UConn has fared versus the Pac-12 since 1999-2000.
Well, they've fared about that well against everybody in the nation, too. Stanford's done a great job against them, but talking to Gino today as well, he said, you know, the Pac-12 is just so much stronger than it used to be. He said, we used to feel like we could go into California or wherever Pac-12 country and get whoever we wanted. Not the case anymore.
We talked about how physical it was. Good take by Crystal Dangerfield right out of the timeout. Horvat with the jumper so soft it just nestled right in there in the bracket. So that is a jump ball when it lodges in the rim, and it is UConn possession heading the other way. There was a great flow and rhythm in the first half, especially in the first quarter. It feels a little more choppy here in the second half.
It is, and part of it's because both teams do a good job getting back in defense, so they're used to scoring in transition. We're not seeing those same transition buckets in the second half that we did in the first. So they're grinding it out in the quarter-court.
Kia Nurse heading to the line again. She is perfect, 4 for 4, drawing the foul on Horvat, her first. Lots of hoops right here on the ESPN network. The Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. So much good basketball action this week, Feast Week. If you're a basketball fan, you really don't need to leave your couch for the next few days. And after a good Thanksgiving meal, I don't know why you'd want to leave the couch anyway, right, Gail?
Absolutely.
So here's UCLA, 10 on the shot clock. Canada trying to flip one up, hits the deck. And it will be UConn clearing the board and picking up the foul.
Yeah, again, Canada really trying to make something happen, going with a little step through. She's just got to finish those plays. I think she's hoping for a foul. You can't hope for a foul. You got to expect to score.
Horvat reaching in, and that's her second foul. Dangerfield will pull the three. That one long off the back rim, but once again, an offensive rebound to Williams, and that is her 10th board of the game. Collier, the pull up short. Billings pulling that one down. That's just her 4th rebound of the game. They really need her to be active here. About 13 minutes to go in this matchup. And UConn has not pulled away. You need those threes to start going down, though.
But UConn they're one of the best teams at playing percentages. So if you're not a great three-point shooter, you're going to be open for a three. So right now, I feel like UCLA is getting lulled a little bit into shooting those outside jumpers, shooting those threes. Billings hasn't touched the ball inside in quite some time. Give her the ball, let them collapse, let her make some decisions with the ball.
UCLA feeds off transition and getting out and running, and UConn hasn't allowed it. That time the backdoor cut, a pretty one from Gabby Williams.
Yeah, we saw him working on that high-low today. Nice job looking inside.
Forced error by Jordan. Canada's trying to make something happen, but UConn's defense so long. Dangerfield with her feet set, and that is money.
Corey Close might want to take a timeout, just get her team settled down a little bit.
And they're falling down by 16 points. Just over 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And Gino talked before the game about his team and how they have intensity for a full 40 minutes. And that you may play with them for a while and feel really good about yourself, and then all of a sudden it's a 10-0 run, and you blink, and the game's over. It's a 10-2 UConn run.
Yeah, UCLA's got to get something going these last 2 minutes to feel good about themselves going into this 4th quarter.
And a 5-second call on the baseline out of bounds play.
Corey Close very frustrated. Her team executed so well against Baylor. And now not setting the great screens. You've got to set great screens to get one another open. Trust each other in the quarter court.
Baylor, the 3rd-ranked team in America, going down at the hand of the Bruins here in Pauley Pavilion on Saturday. 82-68, but right now UCLA with just 38 points on the board. Oh, an easy bucket from Collier. Billings beats one defender and turns around, and there's another Husky right in her face. You see the frustration setting in a little bit. UConn makes things so difficult.
Well, and I think when you don't touch the ball for a little while, you're so anxious to make something happen. Her feet weren't set. She was just turning before she really had anywhere to go.
It's now been over 3.5 minutes without a Bruin point. There's Collier getting inside for another bucket, and she's got 17. She came into today averaging just 11 in the first 3 games of the season. She averaged 20.4 last year, one of only 7 players in the history of UConn to average more than 20 points. Looks like she's on her way to a big night. Horvat with just 3 on the shot clock, lets that one go. Canada there for the rebound, but that too off the rim, and UConn controls the boards. And a pass zipped down to Collier, looking for the 3-point opportunity. And she comes with a big smile on her face and says, "Thank you very much, Kia." Couldn't get a much easier look than that.
And a nice job inside. Defense just not aware. There's no body on her. She's wide open. Looks inside, keeps the ball up, and scores. And that's where, for UCLA, on any team, when you don't score for several minutes, it's very deflating. And all of a sudden, everything seems to go downhill. Your offense, your defense.
It's amazing how much harder teams play when they have shots go in on the defensive end.
We see it all the time. Yeah, somebody scores and all of a sudden they can sprint down the floor.
It's funny how that works. Well, UCLA wants to try to get a bucket and a stop here. About 4 seconds shot clock differential to game clock. Monique Billings down low, leaves that one short. And a foul on the ground. Kia Nurse, just her second. And now with no shot clock, 12 seconds, UCLA needs a bucket. And again, just struggling to get the ball inbounds, and that's Megan Walker out ahead. Exactly what UCLA could not afford to give up. 2 left. Canada behind the back, and a pretty move, but no finish. And man, UConn just coming out and blitzing the Bruins here in the third quarter. Now a 62-38 lead. The Huskies on a 16-2 run to end the third quarter of play. UConn, the #1 ranked team in America, and looking like it against number 5. And UCLA has a lot of room to try to make up here. They want to make this at least respectable. They went the last 5 and 11 without scoring, and they're going longer. Gabby Williams with a steal, trying to go coast to coast. Instead is fouled by Canada. Out of timeouts, UConn has been really good on both ends of the floor.
They have, and once again, Gabby Williams, who loves to get up and in passing lanes and steal the ball. And again, defense translates to transition offense.
As a Hall of Fame coach, Dale, a player like Gabby Williams, willing to do the things that just take energy, and she's denying the lane right now in the fourth quarter with a double-digit lead. Like it's the first quarter or the fourth quarter of a tie game. I'm just out there working.
There aren't many players like Gabby that just understand only one way to play, and that's all out all the time. And those are the players that lead you to championships.
The National Defensive Player of the Year last year.
And there's another deflection right there. Such active hands.
Down low onto the floor for the Bruins. That is Lauren Miller, the 6'1" freshman out of Missouri.
And if you're Corey Close, you know, you talk to your team at that quarter break and you said, our goal is to win this quarter. We've got to feel good about ourselves. We've got to learn from this. So they need to play with more pride, more passion, win the quarter.
Kennedy Burke's 3 attempt is long, and once again, UConn clearing the boards. They have given UCLA no energy in life on second shots. Gino Oriema, so good in growing the women's game. Even with a little controversy before the game, the student section from UCLA saying, "We want UConn." Gino filming a video that said, "Hey, I'm here in the student section, and it's really quiet. It's going to be quiet tonight as well." Just so great.
He loves to egg people on.
But I'll tell you what was really cool was listening to Corey Close talk about after the Sweet 16 loss for the Bruins last year to UConn, she called and said, "Hey, give us an honest assessment of where we are as a program." And Chris Daly, his assistant coach, Gino, really helpful and said, here's what we have on the scouting report. And she said that Gino always willing to help and give honest feedback, which I found to be amazing.
And that's what great coaches do. You know, you share your scouting reports with each other, on each other. You know, you want to grow. And I think Corey has done a tremendous job with this program. You know, she's got them to a level where they can compete with the top teams in the country. Their goal is to get to the Final Four.
Lauren Miller's first foul of the game. Crystal Dangerfield with a hard take.
And Corey, both coaches really talked about the fact this is an early game. This will show us things that we need to improve upon. So she said whether we win or whether we lose, that's not the point. The point is that we grow from this game so that we're ready come March.
Well, they already have one win against a top 5 program, number 3 Baylor on Saturday, and trying to make it back-to-back here against Connecticut. But this Connecticut program, their standard of excellence is perfection. They go for perfection every year. They have 6 undefeated national championship seasons under Gino Auriemma. And I feel like even if they win the national championship with 1 loss, they feel like they could have done better. And we all know the way that UConn's season ended a year ago, a loss in the Final Four to Mississippi State. Morgan Williams with the overtime jumper to break a streak of 4 straight national championships won by UConn. They've lost 2 games in the last 4 seasons. Collier taking it to the rack and somehow finding an angle to get that off glass. Draws the foul but cannot finish. Gail, you're a Hall of Fame coach. You look at this, he's gone to 10 straight Final Fours. It's just another level.
It really is. I mean, they just expect to win every single game, and they practice to win every single game. So, you know, I think about when Tara said she taped UConn warming up one year when they played them. She taped their warm-up because they warmed up so much harder than any other team she saw that year. So it starts with their practice. Well, it starts with their head coach, but then it's every drill. It's in practice, every practice, and then every game.
And Gino said, hey, our fans, they don't come to the arena just to see us win. They come to the arena to see us play well and to put on a show. To make it worth $25 to come to the arena and $15 to park. They expect excellence. And they have set the standard in women's basketball, and everybody else trying to get near that level. Kennedy Burke knocking down the first free throw as UConn has pushed that lead out now.
And UCLA, this is good. You know, picking up full court. Put some pressure on Connecticut. Change your defense. Work on some different things defensively and offensively.
There's Burke with a steal, and she is out. Dangerfield trying to get in front of her and does, but Millie Billings with a hustle play.
And that's really the first transition points we've seen in a long time. And again, it started because of their defense.
And UCLA can overwhelm a lot of teams athletically and get out and get lay-ins. It's really difficult to do that against UConn.
And nice job defensively, getting around, getting the steal. And it's not enough for one player. It's always got to be team transition.
Crystal Dangerfield at the line, knocks down the first. Thanksgiving morning, start your day with First Take at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. They'll get you ready for all 3 NFL games. Plus, they'll preview college football's rivalry weekend, and there'll be some Turkey Day surprises as well. First Take always streaming live on the ESPN app. It was a big lead for the UConn Huskies, the top-ranked team in America. They're undefeated, trying to get to 4-0. A big rebounding advantage has led to a big scoreboard advantage for UConn, 72-45. The rebounding tells the story. 31 boards for UConn, just 19 for UCLA, and that's too hard to overcome.
Yeah, and if there's one word I would use to describe Connecticut's game tonight, it's efficient. 54% from the field, 54% from the three-point line, 94% from the free throw line.
This is the 4th straight game that UConn has played against a ranked opponent, and the 4th straight game that they might win well into double digits. They are averaging 25 points per game, margin of victory against 3 ranked teams. And this has been the last 2 games without Katie Lou Samuelson, who has been injured. They expect her back within a couple of weeks. Gino, before the game, talked about, hey, she's our most versatile player. I don't know how we're going to react here on the road against the top 5 team in America. Well, I would say they responded very well.
I would say so. And it allows some of the younger players to get some playing time. And we saw Megan Walker really show out today.
Here's Jordan Canada picking up the ball in the open court. Cannot finish, though, but Billings once again with the putback. She's got 13 points now.
A great job by Billings. We've seen her on the offensive glass. And Jordan Canada just is one of those games when nothing will fall. But you got to keep playing hard, stay positive, and continue to lead your team.
Trying to get it down low. Gabby Williams with the turnover. Horvat, the freshman. The ball in the left wing, feeding it inside. That one telegraphed, but Williams goes for a steal and instead picking up the foul.
And that's where it's so hard. Gabby Williams, she's so sneaky defensively on the post. She's only 5'11". She'll play behind, but as soon as the pass goes in, she sneaks around to get the steal. She got caught tonight with a couple of fouls trying to get around.
Well, that is her 4th foul, so Gino Oriema comes to get her. You can tell she does not like to leave the floor, and right away, the best defensive player on the bench, and UCLA scoring. They've had struggles on the out-of-bounds plays, not that time.
Yeah, they've done a great job in previous games with their out-of-bounds plays. Struggled tonight, so they got a nice layup there. They run some great sets out of bounds, both underneath and on the side. You can see their defense is picked up.
The mismatch down low, but it's Horvat getting the block. Clean one on Stevens. A 6-inch height advantage for Stevens, but Horvat getting a clean check. Horvat, the freshman from Australia, bringing some energy on the floor for the Bruins. She gets 2. The John Wooden statue outside of Pauley Pavilion, one of the best coaches, period, in any sport. The former UCLA Bruin and Hall of Famer, and you look down that list, Gino Oriema with 994 wins. If UConn continues to win out, we could win number 1,000 December 19th versus Oklahoma, another top 25 opponent. But they've got a lot of work to do before then, including Notre Dame on December 3rd, right here on ESPN.
Notre Dame, one of the few teams that has done a great job against Connecticut over the years. Great rivalry they had for many years.
Good battle down low. UCLA coming up with the board, and they will get possession on the alternating possession. UCLA on an 8-0 run, and certainly with 4.5 minutes to go, they're not going to come back and win this game. But what can they do here in the final 4.5 minutes to give them some confidence and to make something out of this?
Well, that's exactly what they need to do. They want to go on a run, play team basketball, share the ball, attack the glass. Their defense is picked up, playing much more aggressive than they had been. So Corey Close is doing a great job continuing to teach through tough times.
Kennedy Burke, the hustle play. Substitution for Connecticut. Gabby Williams coming back on the floor. She does have 4 personals, so took some time to get a drink and come back on.
And Corey Close, she talked about one thing I really loved. She talked about, her players have improved so much from their freshman to senior year. And she said, you need two things. One, great coaching staff, which I have. And she said, you got players that need to buy in and trust. And she said, every day we've got we call them your vitamins. For 15 minutes pre-practice, you got to take your vitamins. You don't have to, it's optional. And she said early on they didn't buy in. She said, but once they did, 15 minutes every day, working on their weaknesses, and it shows. They've really improved.
The market improvement between Billings and Canada from freshman to senior year. That's why this is a top 5 team in America. And she gives a lot of credit to her assistant coaches, Shannon Perry, who you know well.
My Shannon Perry. We worked together for 5 years at Duke, went to a couple of Final Fours. One of the best assistants in America.
The players really like Shannon Perry. The mental side of the game is what she works on with them. And it takes a collective effort. The mental, the physical, the workouts, the training, the ice bath, everything. You got to have a coaching staff that is an expert in everything. Here's Canada pulling it from 3. No good. And she hustles after her rebound and finally gets one to go. Jordan Canada.
And that shows her growth, really. Freshman year, sophomore year, she would have gotten down when her shot wasn't falling. She stopped playing hard. She stayed in the game mentally. She's worked hard. She's been a good leader throughout this game.
She's now in double figures, 10 points, just 4 of 14 from the field. 6 boards and 4 assists. And Dangerfield with another bucket. This UConn team, you try to take one away and another one scores. Dangerfield with 14. It's the freshman. Onion no good, but the putback is.
And UCLA is doing a better job on the boards right now, attacking the offensive glass. We thought we'd see this for the full 40 minutes.
They had Kia Nurse on the curl. Decided to be a little patient, work the clock. Kia Nurse with a strong take, and will pick up another foul.
That's a first personal foul.
The foul on Onionware.
For Connecticut, number 11, Kia Nurse to the line.
Nurse 5 of 6 from the free throw line today. The second miss of the game for Nurse, and just the second miss for UConn. Of all the things they do well, they go and shoot 16 of 18 from the free throw line today. And she misses another. Canada dropping the pass behind her to Monique Billings. Pretty connection there, and Billings now 13 points for the senior. There's Nurse taking it once again, drawing contact. The defense not outside the circle, and another three-point opportunity for UConn.
And that was just an impressive hesitation by Kia Nurse. And then right to the rim.
For Onionware, she was there, her feet were set, but she was inside that circle.
Yes, the restricted arc. And they've moved that restricted arc out this year. It was 3 feet last year, now it's 4 feet this year. So you've got to step a little bit further out. Now it's the same space as the men play with.
Do you like that?
I do. I think it'll make it easier on the officials, and anything that's easier on the officials, I'm for.
I think most coaches echo that sentiment there. The travel called in the open floor. UConn not taking the foot off the gas at all.
Well, in the previous games, we've seen the starters didn't play in the fourth quarter. That's when Gino's been emptying his bench, but he was very frustrated with what happened at Maryland in the fourth quarter. His bench did not play well. They turned the ball over, and I think he's teaching some tough lessons on that end as well.
And if you took UConn starters out when they got a double-digit lead, 20-point lead, they wouldn't see a lot of minutes during the season. That is how good they are. And to do it against the 5th-ranked team in America, also making a statement. Without Katie Lou Samuelson on the road against the 5th-ranked team in America, come out here and really put on a show. And I'm sure that if you talk to Gino, he's going to focus on the things that they did not do well, as few and far between as those things are. They're always striving for perfection.
If you're on the bench, you're saying, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play. So it's tough to sit there and watch, but I guarantee you in practice tomorrow, they'll be ready to play.
Walker with the take. And the rebound coming down to Kayla Owens, a 6'1" freshman for UCLA. Billings with the post up, down low. Rushed it a bit. Lajane Drummer there with a board, and then Billings again, and she can't get it to go.
Got to finish the bunnies.
Horvat there, picking up the loose ball, and UCLA will get another turn. Canada pulling the 3 and gets that one to go. So UCLA getting to 60 with 47 points to go. Monique Billings with some good hustle plays. 6 of 13 from the field. She's got 15 points and 9 boards.
Yeah, and she said she's really worked on that mid-range jumper. She's worked on her left hand in the offseason. But one thing her coach counts on her to do is rebound the basketball. Her goal is to get 1 rebound every 3 minutes. That didn't happen early on, but she's really worked hard in the second half and in this 4th quarter in particular. Done a better job on the boards.
6'4". She can dunk. She's got tremendous vertical leap. Out of Corona, California, Southern California native. And has improved dramatically since she got here. She averages 5 points per game as a freshman, and she's now up to over 17 per game. Abby Williams nearly turning it over.
I like this pressure by UCLA. Nice job. The few times they've pressed full court, and again, it's a work in progress, but they've done a nice job, and they've caused Connecticut to turn the ball over.
An 18-point UConn advantage over UCLA. Jordan Canada will pull the 3, and that one in and out. And the shot clock is off now, just 18 seconds remaining. And UConn, once again, will take out a ranked opponent. Their 4th straight game against a ranked foe, and the 4th straight win for the undefeated #1 ranked UConn Huskies. They played just 6 players today, and they get a win.
Yeah, I think both teams are going to learn from this game. UCLA, they started off really well, then they struggled really in that 3rd quarter, specifically coming out of halftime. But in the 4th quarter, we saw them really play hard, play aggressive. They maintain their poise, so they're going to learn some good lessons through this.
I think we also learned that UConn, if you didn't know, they're good. #1 ranked team in America. And they look like it today for certain stretches, for sure. I don't think Gino thinks they're close to where they'll be at the end of the season, but you got to give them credit. This is the #5 ranked team in America, and UCLA dominated for certain stretches. Great crowd here tonight at Pauley Pavilion, but it's UConn coming on the road and breaking UCLA's 32-game winning streak here in Pauley. Thanks for joining us, everybody.